Hello, I'm Jason Ginnert for Gestalt IT. You can find me on Twitter at jginnert. You can also find my thoughts on bitsatflight.com. I'm here with Nirav Shah from Fortinet speaking about their solutions around SD-WAN and security in the cloud and at the edge. Nirav, please introduce yourself.
Hey, yes, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Nirav Shah. I'm a Vice President of Products and Solution at Fortinet. Been with Fortinet for 6 years. And Jason, really excited to talk with you about SD-WAN and more.
Excellent. Me too. Me too. So, Nirav, what would you say differentiates Fortinet SD-WAN from other SD-WAN platforms?
Yes, so if you look at the SD-WAN industry, right, especially if it has evolved quite a bit from last 5, 6 years. But one thing really differentiate Fortinet from day one is that we always believed in convergence of security and networking together, what we call secure SD-WAN. And that has really helped because as you see today, uh, as customers are deploying SD-WAN, of course, there's a big element of reducing cost, improving user experience, but we are also experiencing a major increase in ransomware attacks and cyber threat attacks. So it's important to have security built in with SD-WAN to provide a balance of a user experience along with security posture. And that really differentiates Fortinet. But if I have to sum it up, it's all about our ability to have one OS with all the organic innovation, having SD-WAN, next generation firewall, the entire zero trust solution, and all of this together by able to manage through a single pane of glass truly differentiate us from the entire industry.
I couldn't agree with you more, Narav. The integration between security and SD-WAN is really important. So, on that point, zero trust network access or ZTNA is also a very hot topic. In particular in that edge context. How do Fortinet SD-WAN solutions and even just straight Fortinet firewall solutions solve for ZTNA?
Yes, so as we all have experienced over the last 18 months, there is a migration happening from a VPN to ZTNA to make sure that we provide customers an explicit access and do not provide them an implicit access to everything. And the great thing about Fortinet SD-WAN solution is it is powered by that same OS. And in our most latest FortiOS 7.0 release, we actually announced a built-in access proxy. We are the only SD-WAN vendor with built-in access proxy, which enables ZTNA right there with SD-WAN. So Jason, you can imagine now, right? You are creating an application steering policies for SD-WAN. At the same time, we can also make sure that application access from whichever location the users are can be also managed through that same centralized management. So now they get the same application experience with improved user capability, but also we are making sure that the way they're accessing application is explicit and we are continuously verifying them. And by the way, all of this capability, whether it's SD-WAN, whether it's access proxy, this comes with built-in in FortiOS platform without any additional license. So the whole idea of the deploying SD-WAN, deploying ZTNA, and you can see very quickly an ROI of the investment, but you're also making sure that security and the user experience remains top-notch.
That's very powerful to be able to see all of that in one single pane and one cohesive management infrastructure to handle all of that. How about cloud access and cloud on-ramp capabilities? So those are emerging as pretty important components of the infrastructure stack. How does Fortinet accommodate for these deployment models, cloud access and cloud on-ramp?
Yeah, Jason. So I would say that in most of my conversation with customers, there are two dominant discussion with SD-WAN. One is security, and second is cloud. And Fortinet has a unique strategy and capabilities around cloud for SD-WAN. In fact, we look at the cloud into three parts. This is about connecting to the cloud, connecting clouds in between, and the workloads connection between the same cloud. And we make sure that same FortiOS that I talked about provides SD-WAN is available everywhere, right? So now let's go with the first area where customers deploying Fortinet SD-WAN at branch or at remote location. we have the cloud on-ramp connectivity with all major cloud providers out there, from an Azure to an AWS to a Google Cloud. So this provides them a highway to the cloud connectivity with a much better performance. But at the same time, our customers deploy the same SD-WAN between cloud to have the multi-cloud functionality and have a very high IPsec performance. In fact, we have also customers who have deployed the between workload, the same SD-WAN and security to protect them as well as have app steering. So as you can see, there are multiple deployments we can do, but still having a single pane of glass, managing branch, users working from anywhere, and cloud together, what truly differentiate Fortinet compared to other SD-WAN solution for cloud.
Onramp, you've mentioned branch in the capabilities in the branch. Can you expound more on SD-Branch capabilities, i.e. managed firewall switches, APs, all in one single pane of glass? That's becoming more attractive to many organizations. So what capabilities does Fortinet have in this space?
Yes, so Jason, we talked about Fortinet SD-WAN. In addition to that, Fortinet also built our own 40 access point, 40 switch, and 40 NAC. And because of that, what we have done is in our OS, we have a really deep integration to all of them. What that means is customers who are deploying the Fortinet SD-WAN, when they connect to our access point, switches, or even NAC, we have a specific protocol to make sure that we can extend security to all of those products. In fact, if you're using a centralized management that we talked about, you can actually see AP, switches, IoT devices detection, all of this in a single pane of glass and have policies around that. What our customers tell us is that when they go from an SD-WAN to an SD-Branch, not only they reduce the overall cost, they improve security, but it's become extremely simple and efficient for them to manage the operations. And for certain verticals like retail and healthcare, this is very dominant for them to go from an SD-WAN to SD-Branch. So really what we are doing with our organic innovations in FortiOS, and by the way, this is not easy to do on an appliance. So we built our own purpose-built ASIC where we have specific parts of networking and content processing. We are doing it in parallel to make sure performance is not the bottleneck. So it's very natural for our customers to go from an SD-WAN to SD-Branch and have the entire access and networking and security combined and manage in a simple way.
Again, a very powerful and comprehensive story there. So thanks, Nirav. That's fascinating. So in a work from home, work from anywhere, secure access services edge, those are all terms that have become, come to the forefront, especially post-COVID now with everybody, so many people working from home. So how does Fortinet solve for these remote users in a SASE context?
Absolutely. So Jason, we announced a solution called FortiSASE SIA, or what we call Secure Internet Access. And our goal is, again, going back to what in the beginning I mentioned, a convergence of security and networking. So FortiOS, which is a foundation of that convergence, is available everywhere. Whether customers want to deploy at home or at branch, and now cloud delivered. So for us, SASE really enables that cloud delivered security and networking for remote users. One of the most important part of SASE is how good is the security. And really what we have done with FortiGuard Labs, last 20 years of our ability to use 4 million plus sensors and have a threat intelligence is what powering our SASE solution, which is cloud delivered and available for those remote users across many other use cases. So coming back to specifically for remote users, they can use FortiClient agent, connect to the nearest point of presence for a SASE SIA, and have both ZTNA as well as the cloud delivered security inspection before they go out to any SaaS and cloud applications. In fact, the way the cloud deployment is built around SASE is purpose-built as well, so that when customers are using the SASE, they're also taking the most optimized path for better user experience. So we see SASE is another deployment for customers because the customers are going to be on the journey where they are going to have a hybrid deployment. Some are going to continuously using SD-WAN on-prem. Some are going to use on the via cloud delivered. and our ability to provide that same convergence of security and networking and have a single pane of glass management truly differentiate in helping customer in those journeys.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Nirav. Thanks for sharing all the new things that Fortinet has to share with us today. I appreciate it. Any things that you'd like to add upon closing?
No, I think this is great. You asked some really good questions. Is what customers are looking. I would say two things are most important, Jason, for SD-WAN. Number one is ROI. Are they getting the real return of investment on the technology? And we have some great customer examples of how they have done it, as well as getting that security posture right. So if the viewers want to learn more about our SD-WAN solution, our leadership in that area, along with some great customer journeys and stories, then do go to Fortinet.com on SD-WAN product page. They can learn more about it. So Jason, it's a pleasure. And thank you for all these great, insightful questions.
Yes, it was great talking with you today, Nirav. Thanks
Thank you.
again.